Planning a visit or move to Pittsburgh? Don't miss this video. Get insider tips on navigating around Pittsburgh with ease. Hi, welcome to my channel, Mark Knows Pittsburgh. My name is Mark McClinchie and I'm a real estate agent dedicated to serving the needs of home buyers moving to Pittsburgh from out of the region. I have tons of useful content here on YouTube and on TikTok. Please subscribe and follow. I have lived almost my entire life in Pittsburgh. I have lived in several areas throughout the region and I am familiar with many of the challenges we have with transportation. Our two biggest challenges are geography and history. Pittsburgh has a lot of hills and rivers, and historically, Pittsburgh developed business districts and residential communities long before the advent of cars and mass transportation. With these two challenges, we have lots of bridges, tunnels, and narrow and winding roads. Our major roadways can get congested during peak hours, and our old infrastructure has many roads and bridges in need of significant upgrades. Not to mention, we have a lot of freezing and thawing, which causes lots of potholes. However, despite these challenges, getting around Pittsburgh is actually much better and faster than many other cities. Try navigating Philadelphia or Washington, D.C. on a daily basis. No thanks. Let's take a closer look at your transportation options in Pittsburgh. Keep in mind, this is just general information. Everyone's specific commute or transportation needs from one place to another is going to vary widely. Many Pittsburghers will tell you just how horrible it is to drive in the Pittsburgh area. And yes, there are some hot spots, typically during rush hour, where things can get backed up outside of inbound tunnels. The Squirrel Hill Tunnel is definitely the worst. Fort Pitt is next, and the Liberty Tunnel isn't too bad. But we are only talking about single-digit delays most of the time. There are also plenty of alternate routes that you can take to avoid congested areas. Or if you have flexibility to avoid peak rush hour, which is really only for 30 or 45 minutes, generally you can get to most places from one side of the city to the other side without too much traffic or hassle. There is an outdated myth or stereotype that Pittsburghers don't cross rivers or bridges because it's just too far. This might be true for some, but that is one of the great things about Pittsburgh. If you want to get to a cool new brunch spot, or to your favorite store having a sale, or to meet a friend for coffee, you can get anywhere within Allegheny County, with a few exceptions, in less than 30 minutes. I serve clients that are buying homes throughout the Pittsburgh region, and I do tons of driving every single day. I live in the South Hills, and very rarely do I ever have to drive more than 30 minutes. Sure, if I need to get to Butler County or Westmoreland County, it could take 45 minutes, but anywhere in the North Hills, near the airport, in the city, or to Monroeville, I can get there in 30 minutes or less. So perhaps you want to let someone else do the driving. The Pittsburgh Regional Transit, PRT, has nearly 700 buses and makes almost 7,000 stops throughout Allegheny County. It is the 20th largest transit system in the United States. Like most bus systems, the downtown serves as the center of the hub, and all of the routes spoke out from there with some exceptions. Which means if you need to get to downtown, you should find routes or park and rides in your area relatively easily. But if you need to get somewhere other than downtown, maybe to a shopping mall or to a doctor's office across town, it means you'll need to transfer, and this will be time consuming. The fare is $2.75, and it is good for a 3-hour window. PRT operates 54 park and ride locations in 94 bus routes. It maintains 3 busways, 80 bridges, and the Wabash Tunnel. Pittsburgh's public transportation often makes top 10 lists of best systems in America, though frequent riders often complain about delays and route reductions. The Pittsburgh Regional Transit also operates a 26-mile light rail system. This system primarily serves the South Hills with 3 separate lines that terminate at South Hills Village and Library. There are 4 stops downtown and 2 stops on the North Shore. So if you live in places like Beachview, Overbrook, Dormont, Mount Lebanon, Castle Shannon, and Bethel Park, and you need to commute to downtown, then the T can be a convenient option. You can also drive to several park and ride lots to access the light rail. The T is also a popular option to take to events, concerts, and Steeler or Pirate games. In the past decade or so, Pittsburgh has exploded with biking options. The city of Pittsburgh has dedicated significant resources to bike routes, protected bike lanes, and other measures to keep biking safe. You can also find a bike share program called POGO with over 600 bikes and 60 stations. Thanks to the advocacy group of Bike PGH, residents and visitors can legitimately and safely transport themselves from place to place by bike and reduce car dependency. Be sure to check out Bike Pittsburgh's website for tons of information, including maps, guides, and events. Pittsburgh also has an extensive set of trails throughout the region. The Three Rivers Heritage Trail currently has 33 miles of trails up and down the rivers, and there are plans to expand further. The Great Allegheny Passage is 335 miles and connects Pittsburgh to Washington, D.C. through Cumberland, Maryland. The other major trail in the Pittsburgh region is the Montour Trail, which is nearly 50 miles long from Coraopolis to Clairton. One of the advantages of an older city like Pittsburgh that has narrow streets and wide sidewalks is the walkability. In fact, Pittsburgh consistently scores in the top 10 most walkable cities in America. Within the city limits of Pittsburgh, there are 90 neighborhoods, and many of these places have integrated commercial and residential areas where walking is easy and convenient. Places like Beachview, Bloomfield, Brookline, Hazelwood, Mount Oliver, and Shadyside are all very walkable. Fun fact, Pittsburgh has over 800 public stairways, which is more than any other city in the country. These stairways connect neighborhoods and provide convenient shortcuts for pedestrians to access transit and other amenities. Outside of the city of Pittsburgh, finding walkable suburban communities is more of a challenge. But there are some great small little towns like Bellevue, Carnegie, Castle Shannon, Dormont, Etna, Millvale, and Sharpsburg. There are also more affluent communities that have great walkability like Aspinwall, Mount Lebanon, Oakmont, and Sewickley. And if you are looking for walking opportunities away from densely populated neighborhoods and business districts, there are tons of parks, nature reserves, and trails throughout the region. A few of my favorites include Emerald View Park in Mount Washington, Kane Woods in Scott Township, Trillium Trail in Fox Chapel, and Frick Park in Regent Square. Flying in and out of Pittsburgh is relatively easy. The Pittsburgh International Airport is only 10 miles west of downtown. There are 16 airlines that provide 135 nonstop flights to 50 different destinations. The airport is currently going through a $1.5 billion improvement project that will improve services with a new landside terminal. No discussion of modes of transportation in the Pittsburgh region would be complete without mentioning the famous inclines. These popular tourist attractions will take you from either side of Station Square up to Mount Washington. I recommend the Mon Incline, where you can easily walk to the shops and restaurants on Shiloh Street. And don't forget about our rivers, where you'll find plenty of boats and kayaks in the warmer months. You can hop on one of the riverboats of the Gateway Clipper fleet for a sightseeing tour or dinner cruise. Going to a game or concert, you can also use these riverboats as a shuttle to events at Acrisure Stadium and PNC Park. If you have found this video helpful, please hit that like and subscribe button. If you're not familiar with Pittsburgh, I also recommend watching this video to better understand our winter weather. It's not that bad. And finally, if you are considering a move to Pittsburgh, please reach out as soon as possible so we can set up a time to discuss your needs. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.